Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever it is for you. Today I want to share just like a mini little art haul with you. Basically, I have like half of my art supplies, more than half my art supplies, living in boxes right now. I just don't have space to unpack all of my art supplies right now. And I've been looking for my watercolor paper. I know I have at least 2 pads, actually more, probably at least 4 pads of watercolor paper. And I can't find any of them. I have no idea what box they put them in. I thought we labeled all of our boxes when we moved. I've opened every single box that I found that says art supplies and searched through it. So I'm like, okay, either I somehow lost these in the move or they're in some random box labeled with something else completely. It's been driving me crazy. I've been searching for them for weeks and my boyfriend got sick of hearing me talk about it. So it was my birthday yesterday, and earlier in the week he gifted me some funds to go to the art store. He sent me off on one of my lunch breaks. He's like, go buy the paper. It's been a while since I shopped for art supplies because I have been stock holding them, squirreling them away for so long. I forgot how expensive they are. Anywho, I have them all sitting next to me. I wanted to share what I got. These are some essentials. I'm kind of working with a smaller, gosh, my screens, sorry about the light changing. I have these 2 monitor screens that are like going on and off. Okay, I think they're off now. Anyway, I got some essentials so that I could do some small paintings and drawings and hopefully sell them. We'll see. And that will help fund like more art supplies so that I can do more art, hopefully. So I got some small things just so that I could work in a small space. So let me share those with you. I use these like all the time. I got 3 of these just to replenish my stock. Uniball, Signo Broad. Let me do the beauty influencer thing, right? These like white ink pens that I use in pretty much all of my acrylic paintings, especially abstract ones, to do like little designs that look kind of sometimes like bubbles in water, sometimes like a topographical map. It's abstract, so it's kind of up to your imagination, but these are some of my favorites. I go through them really quickly. Always good for me to have those. Whatever is going on with this Uniball, it works. Like the ink actually flows. I can get like a actual line from it. A lot of the time with other pens, I've gotten like the ball has like dragged the ink to the sides. So it's like a weird like line with like white ink on the 2 sides of the line. And that's not what I'm going for. So these are my favorites. I got this paintbrush. I'm not like a paintbrush snob or anything. Like I don't need the best of the best or the most expensive. Like if it works well for me, great. This just happens to be a Winsor and Newton University series number 2, if you're looking for the size. It's just like a, you know, a smallish brush. I didn't look at the size. I just looked at the actual like literal tip and was like, that looks like a good size for me. Good for acrylic and watercolor paint, which are the 2 main paints that I use all the time. And this size, for some reason, I go through it so fast. I get like, I just wear through the brushes. I make them so frizzy. So for good measure, got another one of those. This thing I didn't plan to buy. I didn't know this existed. It says it's a Rosemary & Co. rubber tip soft. Okay, that's all it says on it. But at the store, it said that it's like an applicator tool for liquid latex. So I bought liquid latex a while ago because I was like, oh, this is so cool. I saw people using it to like paint on their paper and then like let that dry, paint over the liquid latex, and then you can like roll off once the paint is dry, roll off that liquid latex and it leaves the paper underneath it white, so you can do like things with snow more easily, probably little specks of light, like if you wanted to paint stars. I was like, I want to do this, I want to play with it. I bought the liquid latex. I ruined a couple brushes because I was like, I know you're probably not supposed to use a paintbrush with this, but like maybe if I wash it right away, it won't make all of the, what are these called, the hairs of the paintbrush stick together. It did. I couldn't get it out. It didn't work. I ruined my brushes. Apparently there's a tool for this. Why did I not look this up beforehand? I don't know. I just happened to come across it. I didn't even look it up afterhand or whatever, after the fact. But I came across this at the store and was like, oh my gosh, that's what I needed. I don't know if it's silicone or what, but it's like rubbery. Look, I hope this is picking up. So it's got like two ends. This one's kind of like, it kind of like mimics a paintbrush or like a makeup brush. This one's got an angle, almost like a highlighter pen. And then this one is like all rounded all the way around and with like a sharp tip. So I haven't actually used this yet. I didn't know it existed. I'm excited to see what happens. This was not a necessity. This was like strictly I bought this because I was like, it's my birthday. I'm gonna get something I want. I've been wanting to try these out for the longest time. So I finally got some. They're like brush pens where like the tip is a brush and then this part is like a tube that you can fill with water, or you could probably fill it with paint if you wanted to. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I imagine this could be good if you wanted to like take some, like do some watercolor paint sketching on the go. I imagine it could be good for blending. As you can see, I haven't opened it, so I haven't actually experimented with this very much, but I'll report back when I know more. I'm excited to try these. Like you can squeeze and get the water out. We shall see. I hope it's not a huge waste of money because I'm pretty sure you could just do this with a regular brush that you just dip in water, but here we are. Okay, last thing was a couple of pads of paper. So this is where I'm saying I needed watercolor paper. So I got two sizes. I got 4 pads in 2 different sizes. 6 by 8 inch pads. This one, that's upside down. So I got some cold press watercolor paper. I usually use cold press paper, which as far as I know, pretty much means like the paper itself like has a toothier texture. I am almost certain you can't tell on camera, but you can tell in real life with your eyeballs and like by touching it. It has a toothier feel and finish, and I think that sometimes will like grab the paint a little bit more. Maybe it's a little more absorbent. I don't know if that's like technically true. That's been kind of, I think, my experience. You might see a little more texture in your finished piece. I really like texture. Like I love seeing the paper, the canvas, brush strokes. I love that kind of art. Not everyone does. Some people want things to be completely smooth. Honestly, I think it kind of depends on the artwork itself and like what you're going for. But for me personally and my style and like what I'm interested in doing, I really like seeing texture. Anywho, cold press watercolor paper, 6 by 8 inches. I decided to experiment with hot press. I realized I think I just pretty much always use cold press. So this is like the exact same pad except it's hot press. So because I just kind of by default use cold press paper, I was like, I should shake it up and use some hot press paper. And this one is a lot smoother. Again, you're not gonna be able to see it, but it's very smooth. I imagine it'll have like a smoother look when I paint on it. It'll probably be less absorbent. Like I probably won't have to use as much paint or ink. I'm kind of planning to paint and draw on these. So I got basically the same exact pads, hot press and cold press, again in 6 by 6 inches. So I just thought I'd do some little paintings that I can just do at my desk and see where that goes and prove to myself that I'm actually back at it and actually gonna be painting consistently and like use all the paper in these pads before I go off like making other plans, because I always am like, oh, I want supplies, I want this, I want that. And then it's like, okay, are you using it? So I'm gonna use those up, let those help me get back in the swing of creating things. I wanted to share a few things that I didn't buy because I already had them. These are things that are pretty essential, well not essential, but like that I really like using often or that I think could be useful for someone else to know about. So one thing I already got is, well, this is just like a retractable pencil. The size of the lead is 0.7. We're not here for the pencil. I'll show you because I think it's really cute and it's nice and I like it. But we're talking about the lead. So I didn't know about this for the longest time, but you can actually buy retractable, I'm having trouble with that word, retractable pencil lead in red. This is red lead. So apparently when you trace with this, it kind of like, say you want to trace something before you start painting over it in watercolor. If you've done this with regular lead, you may know that it can be kind of difficult to hide the lead, maybe that's not what you're going for, maybe you don't want to hide it, but if you do want that gray pencil line to disappear and not be seen, the red just kind of blends in more. I have noticed when I try to erase it, it does sometimes leave like a pinkish hue on the paper, but like if you're going to trace something before you paint over it in watercolor and you do a light tracing with red lead and then you paint over it, it's a lot easier to blend into those watercolor paint colors around it. So I didn't know that for the longest time, so I thought I'd share it just in case anybody else might find that information a little helpful. I'm dropping everything. The other thing that is like one of my favorite things, Pigment Micron pens. They're waterproof once they're dry. So I really love those because for a long time I wanted to do like some black ink outlining on top of my watercolor paints or underneath sometimes. These are some of my favorite pens. They aren't Sharpie or anything. They are waterproof. So these come in like all different size tips. There we go. They go down to like really fine point tips. Like you can do like hairlines. I think that these are used in drafting. Like if you're doing, at least I learned this when I was like showing them to my boyfriend when I got excited and first got them. And he was like, yeah, I used that in my class when I was like, he was taking architecture classes. So really great for details, detail work, waterproof, love them. The last thing, I don't have an example, but I wanted to. I looked for this at the store, I couldn't find it. Chunky pencil sharpener that has like a hole for like normal sized pencils and then chunky pencils. That's what I want. And that's about it. The paper, the watercolor pens, these ones, water brushes, the normal brush, applicator tool for liquid latex, white gel pens. And then I shared with you my Pigment Micron pens and my red pencil lead. So that's all, and I'm excited to start using those. I don't even want to say how much this cost. This all came out to like $75. Art supplies are so expensive. Like it's the tiniest little pile of stuff. Oh, I forgot one thing. This I did not pay for. Where is it? I'm losing everything. I was sitting on it. So the art store gave me this little scratch it thing. Ugh, how the heck? Let me see. Oh, that's cute. I've never had so much trouble doing a scratch it. 20% off. Okay, cool. Well, I'm definitely gonna go back there because this is my favorite art store. It's called I've Been Framed. Hey, look, there's an email address at the bottom. I really like them. They're like quirkier. Like when you go to like a mainstream art store, it really feels like shopping at like some department store to me. And this one's like quirky, it has personality, everything's well organized, but there's also like, my camera turned off on me. Anyway, love this art store. If you're in Portland and you're interested in getting some art supplies, check out I've Been Framed. No, they're not sponsoring this. I just really like that store. I wish I was sponsored by somebody, that'd be cool, but I've made like 5 videos. All right, let's get back to making art and have a great day. Bye.